Today, we're diving into a story that's causing quite a stir in British politics, involving none other than the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves. The very person responsible for the UK's finances is now at the centre of a controversy that could see her paying back tens of thousands of pounds. So, what exactly happened? Let's break it all down. The core of the issue is this. Rachel Reeves has admitted to unlawfully renting out her family home without the proper license. After Labour's general election victory last year, Reeves and her family moved into a flat in Downing Street, as is customary for senior government figures. They then decided to rent out their personal home in Dulwich, a borough in South London, for a reported $3,200 a month. Now, renting out a property seems straightforward enough, but here's where the problem arises. Many local councils in the UK, including Southwark Council, where Reeves's home is located, have specific rules in place to regulate the private rental market. In certain areas of Southwark, landlords are required to obtain what's called a selective license before they can legally rent out their property. This is a measure designed to ensure properties are safe, well-managed, and to protect tenants. According to reports, Reeves and her husband used a lettings agency to handle the rental. However, it appears a crucial step was missed. The required license was never obtained. People close to the Chancellor have stated that she wasn't advised that this license was necessary. But, as any landlord knows, ignorance of the rules doesn't exempt you from them. The responsibility ultimately falls on the property owner. This oversight has now put Rachel Reeves in a very difficult and potentially expensive position. Southwark Council has clear rules on this. They state that tenants living in an unlicensed property have the right to apply for a rent repayment order. This means they can reclaim the rent they paid during the period the property was illegally let. Let's do the maths. A rent repayment order can cover up to 12 months' rent. At $3,200 per month, the maximum potential repayment Reeves could be facing is a staggering $38,400. That's a significant amount of money, and politically, it's a huge headache for a chancellor who is supposed to be the ultimate stickler for financial rules. Beyond the potential repayment to her former tenants, there's also the matter of fines. Southwark Council has a history of fining landlords and letting agents for this exact breach. In one case from last year, they imposed penalties of over $3,000, which were split between the owner and the agent, while the council notes that the highest, unlimited fines are reserved for landlords renting out dangerously unsafe properties. And to be clear, Reeves is not accused of this. Penalties are still a real possibility. The council does, however, sometimes reduce fines for errors that are self-reported. As soon as this issue came to light, Reeves's team acted. They said it was an inadvertent mistake, and that she immediately applied for the correct license once she became aware of the problem. But in the world of politics, the damage was already done. The opposition was quick to pounce. Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch suggested that this could be a resigning matter, questioning how the Chancellor could remain in her position after breaking the law. This situation inevitably drew comparisons to the recent scandal involving Angela Rayner, the former Deputy Prime Minister. Rayner resigned in September over a controversy related to unpaid stamp duty tax, which was of a similar financial magnitude. This parallel has caused a lot of unease within the Labour Party itself. Privately, some Labour MPs have expressed their dismay, seeing it as an unforced error that hands a major political victory to their opponents. They worry it undermines the party's image of competence and integrity. So, what has been the official response from the top? Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has stood by his Chancellor. He released a letter stating that while the failure to get a license was regrettable, he had consulted with the independent ethics advisor, Sir Laurie Magnus, and concluded that a public apology from Reeves would be sufficient. Starmer has rejected calls for a formal investigation into a potential breach of the ministerial code. A Downing Street spokesperson emphasized that they see the Reeves and Rayner cases as distinct and separate. They reiterated that Reeves's mistake was unintentional, that she acted swiftly to correct it, and that under the ministerial code, An apology is a perfectly acceptable resolution in these circumstances. When a journalist pointedly asked if the Prime Minister still had confidence in his Chancellor, especially given Starmer's own past statement that you can't be a lawmaker and a lawbreaker, the spokesperson's answer was firm. Of course, the Prime Minister still has confidence in her. The UK's policing minister, Sarah Jones, also publicly stated that Rachel Reeves would not be sacked over the issue. The government's strategy is clear. Frame this as an honest mistake, highlight the immediate action taken to fix it, and try to move on as quickly as possible. But the story isn't just about the political drama. It shines a light on the complex and often confusing regulations that govern the UK's private rental sector. The requirement for a selective license isn't a national rule. It varies from council to council and even from street to street within the same borough. This system is intended to raise standards, but it also creates a patchwork of regulations that can be difficult for landlords, especially inexperienced ones, to navigate. It raises the question: if the Chancellor of the Exchequer and her professional letting agent can get this wrong, how many other landlords across the country might also be unknowingly in breach of local rules? It's a reminder for anyone thinking of renting out a property to do their due diligence and thoroughly check the specific requirements of their local council, because the consequences can be severe. For Rachel Reeves, the immediate future involves waiting to see if her former tenants will apply for a rent repayment order. The decision to pursue that is entirely up to them. Regardless of the financial outcome, the political fallout continues. This story will likely be used by her opponents as a line of attack for months to come, a constant reminder of a mistake that has cast a shadow over her role as the guardian of the nation's finances. It's a powerful example of how, in public life, a personal administrative error can quickly spiral into a national political crisis. It tests the boundaries of accountability, the definition of a resigning offense, and the loyalty within a political party. What do you think? Is an apology enough in this situation, or should the Chancellor face more serious consequences? Does this incident reveal a deeper problem with the complexity of property regulations in the UK? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. I'm really interested to hear your take on this. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, please give the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into the stories that matter. We'll see you in the next one.